Bad news for Eritrean government, which has been relying a lot on support from its diaspora. Secondly, a drone strike has been conducted in the Amhara region today. What was the target and where was the drone strike conducted? Welcome to my views and news. Thanks for watching. Let's start with the news story about Eritrea. Really bad news for the Eritrean government. You know that Eritrean government relies a lot on remittances. Remittances are sent by Eritrean diaspora. Secondly, the Eritrean government collects 2% diaspora tax from diaspora Eritreans who from their incomes send 2% to the Eritrean government. If they don't send the money, they are not provided any services at Eritrean embassies and consulates across the world. And then we know that Eritreans have been fleeing the country for years, for decades rather. So there is a large diaspora population in Europe, in America. This diaspora population obviously sends money to their loved ones in Eritrea. So remittances constitute a key uh, uh, part of Eritrean government's revenue. But it seems that the Eritrean government could be in trouble. By the way, Eritrean opposition groups are also in trouble. We know that Brigade Nihamedo has almost suspended its activities. It was involved in attacks on pro-Eritrean government gatherings in Europe, in North America. But the strategy adopted by Brigade Nihamedo was a violent strategy from day one. I have been criticizing it. And time, I think, proved that Brigade Nihamedo's strategy was counterproductive, and Brigade Nihamedo had to stop violent attacks on pro-government, pro-Eritrean government diaspora community. Because the strategy adopted by Brigade Nihamedo led to clashes on the streets of European cities, in Canada, in Israel, in some other countries. Pro-government and opposition groups clashed. That was unacceptable for the host nations. So, Brigade Nihamedo people were arrested. They had to face criminal proceedings. Some were sentenced to. Now, Brigade Nihamedo's activities against pro-government groups have been restricted to their own seminars and statements. The other side is also suffering. Pro-Eritrean government side is also suffering because these engagements between Brigade Nihamedo and pro-Eritrean government groups exposed those diaspora members who support the Eritrean government. And some of these diaspora community members came to Europe. They sought asylum. They claimed that they were not safe in Eritrea, that they fled Eritrea because of conscription, because of human rights abuses, and that they deserve to be granted asylum. That's what the foundation of their asylum case is. They got asylum and later they got citizenship as well. But now these people, some of them, are supporting Eritrean government. So the engagements between Brigade Nihamedo and pro-PFDJ groups exposed those who supported Eritrean government. That led to start of investigations against those people. In Norway, 2 years ago, some investigation units were established to look into the behavior of some diaspora Eritreans living in Norway, because they were allegedly supportive of Eritrean government. So 5 investigators were appointed to carry out investigations. The 5 investigators got help from social media. They were helped by Eritrean opposition groups too. They collected evidence about the activities of pro-Eritrean government diaspora community members. And they have reached conclusions in some cases that some diaspora Eritreans in Norway are supportive of PFDJ. They are supportive of the same government which they fled from, the same government which they accuse of committing human rights abuses. That is why their citizenships are being revoked. Their asylum status led to their citizenships. The citizenships are being revoked. 20, I think, people in Norway have lost their citizenships. 30 cases are nearing completion. These 30 Eritreans in Norway could also lose their passports, the citizenship. Around 135 cases are being investigated by Norway's investigation agencies for the last 2 years. Now, they have reached some conclusions. So hard times ahead for Eritreans living in Europe. After the revocation of citizenship of these Eritreans, what will happen? Will they be deported? Eritrea does not take back its citizens. Where will they be sent? Now, it's very risky, by the way, for any Eritrean living in Europe, America, or Canada to participate in pro-government, pro-Eritrean government, or anti-Eritrean government activities. Then both need to be careful, because anti-Eritrean government people organizing armed movement in the form of EBRF, Eritrean Blue Revolution Front, being organized in Ethiopia, while pro-government people are being accused of supporting the government while they fled from the government, accusing the government of human rights abuses. Eritreans, I think, will have to be very careful wherever they are living. If they support the government openly or if they oppose the government openly, in both cases, they could be in trouble. Their residential status could be in trouble. Since the citizenship is being withdrawn now, it means that diaspora Eritreans won't be able to actively and openly support Eritrean government. Remittances could be reduced. Financial support, which Eritrean government receives from diaspora could decrease. That is, I'm saying that this is a bad news for Eritrean government. And Eritrean government has been using diaspora for lobbying, for protests, for other political activities against Ethiopia, against Western nations. Or it will be difficult for these pro-government diaspora community members of Eritrea to participate in any political activity which supports Eritrean government. Let's see, will these Eritreans from Norway be deported? Where will they be deported? Or will be their status in Norway? But they have lost their citizenships. Cases are still underway, by the way. Investigations underway, and these Eritreans will file appeals too. It will take some time. It's a message for Eritreans living abroad that they cannot support the government from which they fled. Second, a drone strike has been conducted in the Amhara region today. And now, almost on daily basis, drone strikes are being conducted. Fano fighters never acknowledge losses. They say drones are hitting civilians. They never confirm that Fanos are dying too in drone strikes. Yes, civilians are dying too because drone strikes are never 100% safe. Collateral damage happens. Sometimes Fanos live with people. So people die too. Civilians die too. Today's strike happened in Digadimot, which is in Gujam zone of the Amhara region. Pro-Fano source is silent. They haven't said a word about it, but the strike is being confirmed in a residential area in Digadimot. which was being used allegedly by Fano fighters. How many Fano were killed? We don't know, but strike is being confirmed. How is Ethiopian Air Force getting information from the ground about activities of Fano fighters? They're not collecting intelligence through cameras of drone strikes. No, human intelligence is playing a role. So ENDF is getting information from Amhara region about whereabouts of Fano fighters from human sources which are operating in the Amhara region. Thanks for watching.